Good morning. Senior Pro Bob O'Brien here with Rawlings, Mikan, Worth, and Easton. Here on a beautiful morning in Vero Beach, Florida. It's October 18th, 2022. All right. Today's video, it's been a while since we put one out, so I wanted to do one. I've been doing a lot of lessons lately for softball and for baseball, and some of these questions and keep coming up. So today we're going to talk about the grip. All right. The levers of the bat, the length of the bat, and the whole 9 yards on how we can grip the bat and make the bat longer or make the bat shorter, depending on what we're going for. All right, so we're going to start with, first of all, I got my Worth AT18 limited edition, half-ounce end load. I swing a 26-ounce bat, all right? I believe in a little bat speed with my 26 plus bat control, a little combination of both, all right? Recent study shows that swinging a 28-ounce bat versus a 28-ounce bat versus a 26-ounce bat, you do get a little more velocity with the longer bat or the heavier bat, but it's only about 1 mile an hour different in the bat speed. So I like to use a 26. I have better control with it. All right, it is a half-ounce end load, but swing the bat that is best for you. Some guys love to swing the 28, the 27, or the 26. Some bats now come in half-ounce increments as well. And believe it or not, that does make a difference. So find a bat weight that you're comfortable with, and then find the end load that you like as well. But let's go to the bat itself. All softball bats are 34 inches long, all right, from knob to end of the bat. What a lot of guys want to do is they want to choke down on the bat, and the concept there is the longer the lever, the greater the velocity at the end of the lever. Now, when we start measuring lever, we measure from the top of the top hand to the end of the bat, all right? So if you go full out baseball grip, we would measure from here to here, all right? So notice that it's about that far down on the handle. These guys that want to overlap, they'll go down and put maybe 2 fingers on the left hand on the bat, and they'll only put the top 2 fingers of the right hand on the bat. That is a full overlap grip, all right? So now the length of the lever for them starts here. So they've added about 3 to 4 inches to the length of the bat, all right? What that does, science says the longer the lever, the greater the velocity at the end of the lever, all right? If we were to do a little visual on that, and we stood one person next to another, all right, and then we started to swing as if we were swinging a bat, the knob of the bat, this person here would barely be moving. This person here would be moving a little bit, but that person out at the end would be hauling butt, all right? So as we swing a bat, the end of the bat is moving a lot faster than the handle of the bat. So the longer the lever, the greater the velocity at the end of the lever. It's the same concept used in golf. If you notice in your golf bag, the driver is the longest bag in the club, all right? A driver is used for distance. The shortest club in your bag is, I said it wrong a minute ago. The shortest club in your bag is the sand wedge. The sand wedge is used for control and not for distance. So just understand that in softball, when we do an overlap grip, it's because we want a longer lever. We're trying to create better bat speed, okay? So keep that in mind. On the other end of that, well, let's go. So that's your traditional, all right? A couple fingers and then grab the knob. The knob goes into the middle of the hand. The top hand overlaps the bottom hand. All right, my man Brett Helmer, this is the grip that he used his whole career, all right? And the big man hit some of the longest balls in softball, all right? Another good friend of mine, Jeff Hall, actually uses pinky off the end of the bat and the traditional baseball grip, all right? So he's still got a little bit of distance on his lever, but he's going for a little more bat control and bat speed as well. So I do the same as Jeff. I like to go one pinky off the end, all right? And then I have a traditional baseball grip. So I'm a little bit more about bat control, all right, versus bat speed. Back in the day, the guys used to be able to hit unlimited home runs. So they didn't care where anybody was playing. They didn't care where they hit the ball. All they wanted to do was spin it, get it in the air, and hit it as far as they could, all right? So when you're unlimited home runs, that's all you got to worry about. You're getting a little backspin. So there were a lot of guys back in the day that did the overlap grip. At the senior level, we're limited on the number of home runs. Major Plus, we get 9 home runs. Major gets 5 or 6 home runs, depending on what association you're playing. AAA gets even less than that. So at our age right now, we're a little limited on our home runs. So many of the seniors that are playing ball are more worried about bat control versus bat speed. They don't need the long lever. They don't need to bring the driver to the plate with them, all right? They bring the 7-iron or the 8-iron with them, a little bit of placement and a little bit of bat control, all right? So keep that in mind as you choose the grip that you're gonna use, all right? Some people will use, they'll go just a couple on the end here, and they may just do a golf grip and overlap one finger, all right? Others will just go regular old traditional baseball grip. Now, when we went to Vegas, I actually tried a little bit of choking up, all right? So when I choke up on the bat, it's about 1 inch. I leave about 1 inch off the knob, all right? And then go to traditional baseball grip. So now my lever starts here. It's a shorter lever. A recent study that I saw, it shows that hitters were getting about 5 miles an hour less on their bat speed. So the bat speed was 5 miles an hour less than it is when they're choked down, all right, and using an overnight grip. However, they also said I barreled the ball up a whole lot more when I choked up on the bat. Some of the best hitters that ever played the game, Pete Rose, choked up on the bat, all right? Jeff McNeil with the Mets, who led the major leagues in hitting this year with a .325 batting average, choked up on the bat, all right? And believe it or not, one of the greatest home run hitters of all times, Barry Bonds, actually choked up on the bat a little bit as well, okay? So there's nothing wrong with choking up on the bat for a little bit more bat control. And we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna show you a little bit and try to put on a little bat control display in just a minute when we go there, all right? Other things that are a concern is the actual knob itself. Some people like to put a knob on their bat, others don't. This knob here has got some grooves where the fingers fit in, all right? This one was spinning on me, so I had to put a little tape on it so it didn't spin. But anyway, with this one, the grooved one, you can actually put your fingers in the groove. And some people like that because it gives them a little bit of, you can feel it when you're pulling the bat through the zone, all right? The traditional knobs are just, you can buy these anywhere, your old regular old good old knob. And what happens there is you're just putting that knob into your hand and gripping down on it, so you can take a few fingers off the end of the bat, all right, and still feel that you have something to pull through the zone, all right? This is the USSSA Creature bat, shorter barrel. I believe it's a 1/2 ounce end load, all right? All the Miken and Orth bats now have this rubber grip, a little aerated with some holes in it. They're not too bad. A lot of people just keep that one on there and go to work. I like to use a softer grip. So on the old Marauder, I went and bought these. These are made by Major League Baseball. About $12 or $13, can get them at most of your sports stores. They're a little padded and a little cushionier, all right? And that's what I like. Back in the day, I used to use tennis grips. From the old tennis racket, I would put that on my bat. So some guys I like the soft grip because I don't put a batting glove on my right hand. I'll always use a batting glove on my left hand, my bottom hand, but on my top hand, I like to feel the bat, all right? So I use the cushiony, softer grip so I don't get as many blisters after a round of batting practice, and it feels good. However, with this one, you got to keep it dry. If it starts raining during the game, make sure you put your bat in the dugout out of the rain. Once these get wet, they stay wet, okay? A lot of guys, traditional guys, will take any grip off and they'll just tape it up. They'll put the bat tape on. When you do that, bat tape, you've got to wear, most people will wear double batting gloves on both hands, because the tape is a little rougher, and the more swings you take in it, you start developing blisters. If you don't have calluses on your hands, a blister could come into play. You're getting ready for a national tournament, you go out and you take a nice round of batting practice, all of a sudden you got a blister on your hand, you got to deal with that all week. So if you do go to a tape handle, you'll see a lot of guys use the spray, the Stickum, or the pine tar, all right? You do know that pine tar can only be up a certain distance on the bat. You start getting pine tar out on your barrel, you could get thrown out of the game, all right? So you want to keep the pine tar off the barrel of the bat. George Brett got thrown out of a game years ago because he had pine tar above the so-called line. So what major league hitters do is they'll load their handle up with pine tar, and then whenever they need it, they'll just grab it with their gloves, all right? Get a little pine tar up so they got it right there. Most of the dugouts in softball, you'll see pine tar up on the pole. So a lot of guys will put the pine tar on the pole, and then when they walk by it, they'll tap it and get a little pine tar. This day and age, they have spray pine tar. I've never used that before until this year in Vegas. We went out to Vegas and the air was dry. Down here in Florida, we sweat a lot. I end up going through, maybe on a weekend, I go through 2 or 3 pair of batting gloves, left-handed batting gloves, because I sweat, it gets too wet. You got to take that one off, hang it on the fence, let it dry, and go to the next batting glove. But in Vegas, you couldn't get any. We weren't sweating. And even sometimes, you know, Big Papi used to get up there and he'd spit on his hands, all right? That was to get a little bit of moisture into his batting glove. Batting gloves start out dry. Well, in Vegas, it was too dry. I couldn't spit on my hand, so I had to use a little bit of pine tar. And you'll notice on here, I used the spray, all right? And all you do is just spray a little bit on your hand. You go ahead and you put it on your bat, all right? And now you've got a really good grip. I've got some teammates that use so much pine tar that they'll hit the ball and running down the line, they still got the bat in their hand. They got to pry their hands off of the bat to drop it. But there's nothing wrong with that. You've got to have a good grip on the bat, all right? Because it all starts there. If the bat's moving in your hand, it's no good. And so that's why the wet batting glove, you can't have it because the bat will spin in your hand. And I've had that happen to me before, and that's no fun, okay? So whatever grip you like, however high up on the handle you want to do it, you can get the cushiony stuff, or you can go with good old bat tape. All right, the knobs, again, you got the grooved kind, you've got the regular knob. Some people don't want to use any at all. If you notice on some of the bats these days, the 2 Gamer series, the Miken Ultra has their traditional knob, all right? And the AT18 Limited, you'll notice the knob is a little bit smaller, all right? So that smaller knob actually fits in the hand a little bit better versus this knob, all right? You put that in your hand, and some guys end up getting a little bit of blister here because of the knob being into the middle of the hand. So check it out. You've got some with the bigger knobs, and then now they're even making bats with a little bit smaller circumference of the knob. So find the one that's best for you also there, okay? Also the thickness of the handle. This one I just put the cushiony tape over the original thing. So this one's pretty fat. It feels kind of good in my hands. Kind of feels like my golf clubs. I've gone to a fatter grip on my golf clubs. Some people really like to feel that it fits into the hand a lot better. Others like the skinny handle or the skinny tape, so that moves around a little bit in their hand. Okay, so whatever preference you have is best for you. All right. So we talked about the spray, we talked about the batting gloves, we talked about the grips and knobs. All right, so pretty much we're good to go here. So experiment a little bit. If you're trying to get distance, go ahead and choke down on the bat. All right, overlap a little bit if you have to. Do whatever you can to make that lever longer, because it is proven that you'll get more bat speed. If it's about control that you want, you're worried about, you're trying to hit a ball through a hole, all right, or you're trying to keep the ball in the yard, get off the knob a little bit, choke up a little bit, all right, and work on a little bit of bat control. So again, Vegas, we go out there and usually we're swinging a hard ball with light air, and us East Coast guys have a hard time keeping the ball in the ballpark in Vegas. So a couple weeks before Vegas, I'll go ahead and practice choking up on the bat. And again, I already named a couple hitters that do a pretty good job with it, but I haven't seen a lot of people in slow pitch softball do it. And I started thinking, why not? All right, if I'm trying to place the ball and hit it in a certain spot, why not choke up a little bit? All right, so I'm gonna show you a little bit right now. We've got some targets. Come on around the back. I'm gonna do a little target practice here today. All right, so I'm gonna take my outside tee. I'm gonna put the ball up there, and right now, I'm coming up to the plate, and whether it's a 4-man or a 5-man. So let's say it's a 5-man infield, and the 5th man is on the right, on the pull side of the infield. So I still have a hole on the right side of the infield. If I want to hit a ground ball, keep it in the park. That hole is to the, for me, it's to the right of the pitcher or his left. So if I want to get up there There's 3 guys over here taking away the line and the 5-6 hole. All right, so if I just need to get on base, there's nobody on, and I need to get me a little base hit, I'll look around. I like to pick 2 spots out, but for the purpose of this right now, I'm gonna try to hit it to 1 spot, and I'm gonna do it off of a tee, which is gonna help a little. So right now I'm trying to go right of the screen, on the ground, or maybe a line drive. All right, so of course this is gonna be a pitch that's out over the plate a little bit. It's on the outer half of the plate. That's what I'm looking for. In order to get that, I'm gonna back off the plate a little bit. I'm gonna choke up on my bat. I've got an inch, inch and a half to go. You don't wanna go too high. You don't wanna be right up here, that's no good. All right, so when we choke up, it's really about an inch, okay? Get the bat, I like to line my knuckles up. That gives me a little more control. I can use my bat lag, get a little bit on it, okay? So here, all I'm gonna do is wait for a nice pitch, okay? As it comes, I'm gonna try to hit the top of the ball, because I wanna hit it on the ground, or close to the center. I don't wanna get under it here. I'm trying to hit a ground ball between the second baseman, who's over by the light pole, and the pitcher and the screen. All right, so here it is. Here it comes. And I wanna pop that thing right through that hole. All right? And there's nothing wrong with a little target practice. Here it comes, get on it. All right, nice 2-hopper through the hole. You don't want to get up here and just try to hit it hard. You want to be able to place the ball. All right, when home runs are limited, or even if you can't hit a home run, let's say you don't have home run power. All right, you really just need to hit it where they ain't. We really kill it. You want to hit it where they ain't. So you look around, you find a hole, you get a pitch to do it with, and you just go ahead and hit it there. Here it comes. I want to get on top. All right, another 2-hopper into the screen. Let me try one more. See, maybe I can get one in the air there. Let's see. Trying my luck. Nice choked up bat. I got great bat control here. Here it comes. Oh my, we need to stop right there. All right, so hands inside the ball, let the ball get deep. Hit it where you're aiming. Now, after I do maybe 20 of those, I can take the screen and move it to this side, because people know me now a little bit, and they may play that 5th guy on this side. So now I've got to go between the shortstop, who's at the light pole. Now I got to go to the left side. I got to go to the left side of the pitcher, hit it hard enough to get it past the shortstop. So here we go. Now I get a little closer to the plate, looking for a pitch I can drive. And on this one, I just want to go left to the pitcher. Here it comes. All right, a 1-hopper, hopefully past the shortstop there. Let me get you one more. So it's all about bat control. And I'm telling you, gang, if you choke up a little bit on the bat, you'll have a lot more bat control than you think. All right, and you can hit that ball where you want. The trick is to get on base. All right, a little placement with the bat, a little bat control. We don't always want to hit home runs. We know chicks dig the long ball. Home runs are fun, but I think it's more impressive to hit 800 on a weekend than it is to hit 15 home runs. All right, it's harder to hit 800 than it is to hit 15 home runs in this day and age with the good technology. All right, so find you a nice Mike Worth Easton bat out there somewhere. Put a nice grip on it. Whatever knob you want to do, get your tape job ready to go. Get your batting gloves ready, get comfortable. You gotta be comfortable in there, all right? And then go to work. Get a good pitch to hit. Don't just swing away and try to get lucky. You wanna place the ball, move it around a little bit. Again, pick out 2 spots and let the pitch dictate which spot you go to, all right? Off season coming up, Nationals in Vegas is already done. This is a great time to start working on this stuff. Us folks in the South, we got November and December of nice weather. You folks up north, you may be in your basements or in an indoor facility. All right, now's a good time to find you a grip that you like. Start with tee work. If you can do it with a tee and start placing it around, that's the first step. Then you get your pitcher out there and you start doing live pitching and do the same thing. All right, put some targets out there, some cones, garbage cans, whatever it takes. Get out there and start aiming at it, all right? And start hitting the ball, spray the ball all over the park, all right? Keep working hard. I'll see you on a ball field soon.